The minor league cricket season is over. We've wrapped up the Super 8 and the championship final, and I'm joined tonight by one of the game's standout players, Somerset's Adil Bhatti. Adil, you had great figures in the game. You 4 overs, 2 wickets, 4 runs allowed. Um, how did that feel, performing so well on that stage? I mean, first of all, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. It felt great. I got to go back a little bit. I think obviously we know the conditions were tough in Eastern. The way the pitches played out in Glen and Mercer. But I think as soon as we made it to the Houston, the wickets got obviously we played in PB. I like to bowl a new ball. I like to swing the ball. I like to obviously if the condition favors the new ball, I think that helps me a lot. So I think that having bowled here, PB played here previously as well. But I think I felt good coming into to the playoff round, uh, and um, and I appreciated the captain supporting me with the new ball. Obviously, we had quite a few guys who can bowl the new ball, but they gave me that responsibility. Naja was bowling from one end, and I was bowling from the other end. It just felt good, and the new ball was really moving around, and I think that I bowled pretty good against Philly as well with the new ball. And From there on, yeah, I didn't look back. However, did pick up an injury which affected my availability in the next 2 games, which I didn't feel too good about. But I felt really good. And when we arrived, I saw the facility, the stadium. Oh man, I was like, you know what, I can't wait to bowl.
Yeah, that is a fantastic facility. I was there during the major league. It's beautiful. It's we need more of that sort of thing in the USA, as you know. The fast bowling options you guys have, yes, as you mentioned, Mercer, and you mentioned the East. And the East was difficult for batters this season, and there was an awful lot of spin use. You guys have great spinners on your team, but I've kind of always felt like your strength on your team is your pace bowling. I knew if you guys could get into the playoffs, I kind of felt like, okay, you'll do well because you'll have the wickets which are more suited for fast bowling than what you were dealing with there. In the final, you used your outswing bowling so well in the middle overs of a T20. You had slit fielders, and you don't see that too often. So, were you aware heading into the game that you'd get your full quota, that you were going to be used the way you were? Or did that just kind of how things panned out?
So obviously, as I mentioned, right, I was Naja was bowling from the other end. I was bowling from the other end. But in this game, the captain decided to bring me, first change, which I was still okay with that because I knew the ball would still be fairly new, and I could make a good use of that. And like I think the condition definitely suited me. However, it was really important to show a control, good line of length. And I think the batsmen who were actually facing me, they also kind of figured that, hey, I'm hitting the right area. So they were also moving. But then I had to kind of make a few adjustments, right? As they were moving, I was moving my line and length as well too. But it helped me out a lot. And like I said, I like to bowl seam, and as long as that ball is fairly decent, I can certainly do a lot with it.
Yeah, well, you certainly were on Sunday, and you were staying the times that you went wider with the ball. It was beautifully accurate. It's so easy when the ball's swinging like that to miss to the degree where you end up with a wide or something. But you were keeping it so is just inside the wide line a few times. You did so beautifully with that, and that at a good length too. And that was it was just really excellent stuff. I mean, the numbers that you put up. I remember after that first innings, I was like, "Wow, that was one of the best performances you could ask for in a final." I saw you talking at the intermission, on the television because I was watching it from home, and you were saying that this was somewhere around where you wanted to keep them. You didn't want Dallas to go any more than about 120 or so. So you guys did the job, but what that told me was that you understood how difficult it would be to bat against the Mustangs themselves.
The target was certainly challenging. We felt comfortable. Um, However, we had a good start, the start that we wanted in the power play. But then things didn't really work out. We didn't rotate the strike much. We didn't pick up odd boundaries here and there, and we lost, majority of our key players in that 5 to 6 overs, which obviously went quite a bit against us, and then ended up, it could have been run a ball, but then it obviously when the economy rate went up, and then we just yeah, we struggled for sure.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting final. The start that you got there in the second innings, that was beautiful. You couldn't have asked for more than that from Kanar. But yes, unfortunately for you guys, it just didn't pan out. But you put together an amazing season. Your road to the final was really unique. Just getting through the initial regular season is in the East is always difficult. You've played now for three teams, all three of them in the East, and you understand that it's a dogfight in the East. And every one of those teams is good, and anybody can win on any given day. The Somerset Cavaliers, for example, over the last couple of seasons heading into this season, always looked good on paper, but never really could put it together to finish higher than sixth place in the division until this season. What do you think? What was it that obviously Najib Shah was out for the beginning of the season this year? When he rejoined you, it seemed like a missing piece was there on the team. Your fast bowling obviously, looked much more complete as a unit. What do you think it was this season that separated you from that boosted this team to where it got?
So obviously a tough start, losing some games that we should not have lost. Certainly having Najabai back, I think that added quite a bit of experience, quite a bit of leadership that knew what was missing and how to kind of utilize everybody. I think that worked out as well. But I think as soon as we knew that hey, there's a chance to make it into the Super Four or right, and we started winning. I think the whole team chemistry started just kind of coming together at that point, and we started believing that hey, you know what, we just need to win a couple of these games, and then we're good, and that's exactly what happened, right? And then I think some of our key guys started scoring, even though it was a rough start for them. I mean, on those pitches, it was really tough task asking them, hey, go score 30, 40s, and 50s. And that was very challenging because those wickets became a lot friendly for spinners and not so much for the pacers. And the run were just very difficult to kind of achieve. But I think it started to work together. A few innings from Sunny Patel, a few innings from Gajnan, a few crucial bowling. For a couple of our key spinners, Saad and KG Krimagor, a few good performances from our young Sir Yasser, and I think, and then all of that. It just everybody started kind of doing well or started playing their role. Um, and then we just again, right at that point, we just started believing that hey, we are a team that on the paper, yes, we're good, but then when we play good cricket, it's going to be very difficult for other teams to beat us. And we just from there on, we didn't look back.
And how much did you miss Kareem Agor, do you think, in the finals there and in the playoffs in general? He had to leave to be with the Leeward Islands to prepare for a selection there for the Super 50 teams. How much did you guys miss him?
Obviously, we did needed a key left-hand spinner as well as someone who can bat, who can rotate, who can field well, and he certainly played that role. So it was definitely a piece that was missing. I'm sure he would have added a lot of value if he had played.
Yeah. He's one of the he might be, for my money, he might be the best fielder in the country. Him and Nosh Kanjige, both phenomenal fielders. Speaking of both of them, your team had a lot of USA cricket veterans, a lot of veterans from the US national team on it. Obviously, this Mustangs team got a lot of attention for having so many major league cricketers on the team. But you guys balanced that out, I thought, pretty well with the amount of USA players that you had on the team. Yourself having dozens of games of experience from 2012 through 2018 with USA cricket. Did you feel like you guys were a little bit overlooked unfairly?
Yeah, certainly. I think we were, like I said, a great talent, a lot of talent. Gajnan Singh, Sunny Patel, Kanar Lewis, myself, Najib Shah, and Krimagor. So, Abdullah Sayed, all these guys, right? Amazing. Everybody has tons and tons of experience, especially playing
Sure.
in the country here in the USA. I think it was just a matter of time when somebody had to raise their hand and say, you know what, I'm going to go and do it today for the team. And it happened. It happened for us, right? And we were like, you know what, we can do this. We believe in this. I mean, we were very. I think the momentum that we caught, towards the end of the regular season, it was just amazing for us. It worked out so well, and we had very very close games as well. But then we pulled it through, and we were winning games.
Yeah, and you mentioned Yasser Mohammed, who's recently just been selected for the Bangladesh Premier League. Congratulations to him. I believe he's the third USA cricketer to go to the BPL, which is
Yeah.
it's excellent. We obviously a lot of us were cheering for him, hoping that he would get on a major league team as a U23. I still think he will. I still think he will. And he's got USA U19 experience, he's got USA senior men's team experience. He's played some great games for USA, and leg spinner role in the USA is something that we always need, and there's not a ton of people doing it. So, how good do you think minor league cricket is for a player like Yasser Mohammed?
Oh man, I think this is we wish this was there many many years ago. I think for the kids that are coming up, including Yasser and all the other youth players, I think this is amazing, amazing opportunity. I think the level of cricket played in my league is just such it's gonna make you better. Okay, it's gonna make you certainly say that, you know what, I got so many good players on my team. How if I want to play with them, if I want to learn from them, this is the opportunity for me. So it's certainly a great what's happening in the USA. This is really good.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, the last couple of seasons, it's been fun to keep tabs on players like him. It's been fun to keep tabs on players like yourself. You've played 33 games, I believe, in minor league cricket now. And you've been on 3 different teams. Do you think you're going to be on a new team next season, or is that hair color, is that hair dye permanent?
Good question there. So this is where the passion comes out. Okay. I love cricket. Okay. I love to compete. To be very honest with you, and I was looking for a team that has a chance to make the playoffs. Okay, that has to go obviously deeper in the playoffs and even win it. Okay, and I think I found the team. And I think so. I'm looking forward to the next season. Can't wait. Honestly, now that we are runners up, I hope we build on this and we learn from the what we've where we made mistakes this season, and then we come back even stronger.
Oh, one last thing before we go. This is I'm
Yeah,
glad we talked about all these great pleasant things right now. In
yeah,
the play-in game, in the eliminator game, you were bowling in the final over, and
yeah,
and Sachin Malavarapu, the number 11 for New Jersey Stallions,
yeah,
he they needed 6 on the final ball to take it to a super over,
yeah.
and he hit the 6. What was going through your mind right then?
So I mean, there have been honestly, obviously I could have balled better, but there were 2 opportunities. One on the first ball, we could have saved that 6. So at that point, we were thinking I had ball 2 back over left balls on that pitch. One obviously the one I picked up a wicket. The second, it was the batsman came down and tried to hit it, and he missed it. So there was also a run out opportunity. So we were thinking as well at that point. I had a discussion with some of the guys that go back over length. But I could have gone a full ball as well, Yorker as well. But at that point, decided to go back. But I think what ended up happening was it held, it got stuck in the wicket. It came a little bit a lot slower. The batsman took obviously a big swing, but there was also a catch. The camera did not catch that. There was also a catch at the boundary. Unfortunately, the fielder was inside, and then things went interesting after that.
Oh no. Yeah,
But
I
good,
think.
but the result, we're in our favor. So.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. Kanar made, it wasn't a very interesting super over. You guys chased it down in 3 balls, and so it wasn't that as exciting as it could have been. But I
Yeah.
think Sachin was just as surprised to hit that 6 as you were
As
disappointed.
anybody. Yes, I did not want it to happen. It obviously on that last ball. Obviously, I wanted to win. So, but yeah, at the end we did win, so it worked out.
Yeah, that was a crazy game, and like you said, we didn't get to see it on the camera, but I,
Yeah.
I assumed that there was something like that happened because of the reaction afterwards from the players. But yeah,
Yes.
AB, it's great to talk to you. I've talked to you before a couple of times, and you're one of these guys in USA Cricket who's, you represented USA for so long, and I feel like if your career had arced, if you were 10 years younger right now, like
Yeah.
I think that would be perfect. But but you helped blaze a trail for everybody that's around right now, and so you're one of those names that everybody knows.
I appreciate it. Yes, I'm just looking forward to playing good cricket, whatever comes my way. So yeah, looking forward to that. Minor league, major league opportunity in the future for sure.
All right, well, thanks for taking your team's batting. I hope they're doing good right now, so that you
Yes,
can come in and finish it for
absolutely. I don't know if you can see the game in the back, but yes,
them.
thanks. Thanks for having me, Nate. All right,
All right, take
I
care, man.
appreciate it.
League MVP and two-time minor league cricket champion Andries Gous is joining me now. Andries, welcome back to the Minor League Cricket Show. You were my guest in season 1, and you've had quite a journey since then. So let's talk a little bit about that. But welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Nate. It's really awesome to be back there.
You came into the final red hot this season. You ended up being the MVP of the season, but you got beat early in the final, in the first innings. Can you talk a little bit about what happened there, what you were trying to do, and what actually went down?
Yeah, to be honest, that was just a pretty good ball. He bowled me the second ball. I think he bowled me like a full toss the first ball, and then the second ball, I watched a little bit of his videos or just speaking to people, just normal, see what he wanted to do, and then he bowled me a slow ball, the second ball of his spell, and I obviously didn't expect that, so it just went through my bat and hit my stumps. It was pretty good execution and a pretty decent ball.
Yeah, they really got off early to a great start against you guys, taking a lot of wickets early. I think they had you at like around 50 for 5 or so. And then Nosh and Ali Sheikh came in and pretty much saved the day for you. What was the feeling on the bench when you were in that deep hole? I know you felt like you were well behind par at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Especially we thought that we needed to get 160. I thought that probably the wicket looked like it was a good batting wicket. That's why we won the toss and batted first as well. We wanted to get a good score on the board, and then we knew we could defend it. But I remember saying to Ali, don't try and just before he went in, I said, don't try and think too much. Just if you see it, you do it. If you see it, you hit it. Feel it out there. You gotta trust your gut tonight, because otherwise we're just gonna go even more into that hole. So, and he batted absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, he really did. He was fantastic. He's always been a confident type of player. Like he's always been, backed himself. At least when he's playing at his best, it seems to me that he's confident. He doesn't second guess things when he's playing at his best. He just kind of like goes and reacts almost. Nosh was right there along with him, supporting him the whole way for that comeback. And then once you got to about 120, I think you got to 121 in your innings. What was the feeling going into the second innings? How confident were you that you could defend that?
Yeah, I remember before Nosh went in, basically I said to him, maybe we should send a left-hander in just to see to counter the spin a little bit with Ali, since they've got the two leggies, and it wasn't really spinning much, so Gajan wasn't really going to be a big factor on that wicket. So I said maybe we should send one of the left in, and Nosh said, no, I want to go. I need to go. I said, okay, if you feel it, you just go. And unbelievable from him to bat the way he did, and he had an unbelievable game. But yeah, I sent them. I think we sent them a message probably at the 16th, 15th over or 14th over, around about there. And I said, if you guys can manage to get to us to 130, 135, we will win this game. And they came back and said, okay, they won't go too hard. They'll just try and manage to get to 130, even 125 at a stage. I said, please just find a way to get to that, and we will win this game. So that was even though we didn't get the high score we wanted, but I think we were still pretty confident that we can definitely defend it. We knew that we needed to get just only 3 or 4 wickets, and then we can put some pressure on them. And luckily for us, it worked out.
Well, yeah. I mean, you do have a deep team. You talked in the post game about how you really believe in your team's bowling, how you think you're the best bowling unit in the league. You proved that you are a very good bowling team. This was kind of the question mark I had earlier in the season. It wasn't because I felt like your bowling was weak. It's because I felt like your batting was so darn good that when you look at every single team and you try to figure out where their weakness is, where they're not outstanding. For you, it was where are you not like, the best in the league for your team. And early on I thought, oh, they could use a left-handed fast bowler is what I felt like. And then you actually got that. But so yeah, I mean, as the season went on, you saw how good your bowling unit was, especially in peaking towards the end, I felt like, which is very important. Last season you guys found yourself in a similar situation when you were with Seattle. You batted first. It didn't look like a huge total to those of us watching the game, to anybody who had paid attention to how Church Street was playing last year. And you were facing a very good batting team and runs on the board in a final. You want to bat first in a final more often than not, most likely, all other things considered. But yeah, last season, the same sort of thing happened where it didn't look like you might not have the right amount of runs on the board going into the second innings, but you guys defended that too. How did this season feel? Were you as confident going into the second innings this season as you were last season in the final?
Yeah, I think I remember saying in an interview halfway last year, between the innings, I said, well, I don't know, we get 140 or something. I said, we've got the best bowling attack in the country last year. So I said, good luck to them trying to get it, because we won't make it easy. And this year again, we definitely had the best bowling attack in the country for the Dallas Mustangs. So, and then it was a completely different way of setup for bowlers. This year we really relied on our fast bowlers, and Nosh and Ali just did their job so well in the middle. And then last year we had really good spinners with Shadley and Funny taking it out at the end for us. So it is a completely different setup of the bowling attack, but both very effective and probably the best in the country in that year.
Yeah, it's this team, this New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers team that you were facing also has a great bowling attack. They have a good fast bowling attack, and that was kind of their strength. And in the East, the wickets were a little bit difficult. Were very difficult this season, and so you saw teams benefiting from bowling lots of spin in the East, and I think that might have actually held New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers back from outright making it into the playoffs. They had to play basically 2 play-ins to get in. And I think once they got to the Super 4, you got to see how strong they really are. You got to see what their strength was, and that's their fast bowling unit. Now, basically, they came to bat, and they got off to a very quick start, 30 for none in the first 3 overs. And then there was the wicket of Kennard Lewis was humongous at that point. It came immediately following a 6. And eventually they found themselves, thanks to some great plays by Nosh, first of all, the run out of Gajanan Singh before Gaj could even face a single ball. That had to really take a lot of the pressure off for you guys to see him walking back to the dugout, I bet.
Definitely. We knew Kennard was going to be, we felt that he was the guy that had to score a 60 or 40 or 60 or 35 or 45, and then Gajanant is probably the guy that's just going to take it home for them to get the last 40 runs of 35 balls or 30 balls. So we knew those were probably the two really, really big wickets. And then at that side, Abdullah, he's also a pretty dangerous batter on his day. So, but we knew that obviously there's scoreboard pressure and the wicket was moving a little bit. So we knew that if we can just, after Kennard's wicket, we got a little bit of momentum back by raking in a little bit of dots. We got the wicket off the other opener, and then I think it was probably the next 4 overs went for 3 runs and 4 wickets fell or something like that. So then they found themselves in a really, really big hole, which is unfortunately especially in a final, the pressure is just extra. So it's really difficult to dig yourself out of that. Someone had to almost take a extra chance or a risk, and I don't think they were prepared to take chances. We bowled extremely well, but also didn't think they took the necessary risks to try and get themselves momentum back into their side again.
Yeah, and as I expressed, Nosh kind of took the game away from them there, with his bowling and with his fielding, as he did quite well in Major League Cricket, as well. So yeah, he's won 2 straight championships here. You have 3 guys on your team that won 2 straight championships if you consider the Major League and then the minor league, and then you won back-to-back minor league championships. You've got a team full of champions right now. But as Nosh kind of took the game away for you guys, I couldn't help but feel that New Jersey Somerset was kind of missing their own Nosh Kenjige. They were missing Kareem Agor, who had been called to Leeward Islands, and he had a terrific minor league season. And he's, to me, he plays a very similar role to Nosh. You know, he bats later on. He's a bowler first, but he can bat. He can kind of save a team. He's done it several times. He's a good T20 bat, and in the field they're both just exquisite.
Yeah, he's a terrific player. I definitely think they missed him quite a lot, to be honest, especially both bat and ball, but in the field. So I think even just his experience that he's bringing, he's still young, but he's actually played a lot of T20 cricket now.
Right.
So the experience he brings, especially in T20 cricket, and I think when he bowls, he brings a little bit of a calmness to the team as well. He allows Najaf to bowl his seamers on the other side and control the run rate and the tempo a little bit. When Ali and Nosh were batting, it was almost a full blown. You had to keep attacking and attacking. So I think if Karim was there, he could have dotted up a few overs and then really attack from the other side. So it was obviously difficult. Those 2 guys batted out of their socks to get us into that position. So yeah, but I think he's definitely a guy they missed.
Yeah, for sure. It's the last season with Seattle, you guys had you had a superstar core there that you always had the same 5 bowlers that were bowling their quota. And this season you had a few different, you had different combinations you had to use at times. One of the players that got some excellent action this season is youngster Rushil Ugarkar, who actually didn't even show up really on the score sheet until the very last wicket when he threw the ball in from deep square leg to you to win the game, basically to finish the game off with the 10th wicket. Now, first of all, it must have been a great feeling for you to be involved in that final play, but for him to be, for a young player like him to be kind of, an afterthought most of the game, and then to show up at that moment, and he seemed like he was pretty pumped up about that.
Yeah, I think he was pretty pumped up. I mean, the guy took the most wickets in the Super 8s, I think. He bowled absolutely brilliantly in the Super 8s for us. And then to not get a bowl, I think that could, in the final, that's quite disappointing personally, probably for him. But to make sure that you still find a way to contribute to the team and in basically winning us the game is magnificent from him. He's a really good prospect, and he's got such a nice action. So I think the future is pretty bright for him as a seam bowling in the USA.
Yeah, we have some good seam bowlers in the USA, some good youngsters. We got Bolasetti over here. Posanapalli last season was on your team up in Seattle.
Yeah,
I remember you guys wouldn't have even made the playoffs if it hadn't been for the diving catch that he made.
Unbelievable.
I think that took that game into the super over, didn't it?
Yeah. Took it into super over against Lone Star. That got us there.
Yeah,
basically if we didn't win that game, we wouldn't have made it into the playoffs in the first place.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot of good, hopeful young players here, and I know that's exciting to you. It's exciting to me. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about now we've covered the minor league final. We covered your exquisite team there, your fantastic team. The Washington Freedom franchise. You were drafted second overall by the Freedom. I really liked that team. I liked the balance of that team. I liked the way that they drafted the domestics. I liked the overseas players they brought in. That kind of allowed everybody to complement each other. You had a lot of great options for a captain to choose from every single game that you went into. As far as bowling, you had an answer for everybody, it seemed like. What was that experience like to you?
It was honestly, it was awesome being with, again, just being in a really professional setup again. It was a while since leaving South Africa that you really were in a professional setup. So that was just as a start, that was a really awesome feeling. And then we had really good coaches. No, Dale left in the middle of the tournament, but we had Dale, and Cameron White is an absolute genius when it comes to the batting side and tactics of T20 cricket. So that was really cool to speak to him, and just the different ways he goes about it. And then I think I still feel we had the best team in the competition. It's a shame that we couldn't go further, because I think we deserve to go a little bit further in that competition. Mumbai obviously played unbelievably well, and they thoroughly deserve to win the cup. But it was a little bit disappointing that we couldn't go. Especially, I thought we definitely had Michael, who did the draft for Washington Freedom, did an excellent job. I really thought we had the best local guys in the country as a group, and the balance of the domestic guys was really good. So I think next year is going to be, depending whether who gets retained or not, that's going to be really exciting to see whether or not the teams, and especially our team, has grown, especially the domestic guys.
Right. Yeah, we saw Saurabh Netravalkar was absolutely fantastic. You had once you started to score for the team like that, kind of like, it was great. It was great to see you scoring the way that you were. I know that the players you guys were facing are world-class players. And the players you're playing with were world-class players. And I think your team, particularly the domestics, did very well in their roles. But I liked that the way that I just liked the way the team was put together. I really liked that you had a good opener that was domestic in yourself, and you had somebody who could bat later and kind of finish the game, with Obus. And then obviously you had the right arm off spin specialist with Dane, and I feel like you guys did a good job of you probably did a great job of communicating with your team about, obviously Obus and Dane play at Church Street often, so they got the familiarity with the ground there, and the familiarity you have with the players around the country too. I feel like you guys probably just had a lot of great chemistry and good knowledge sharing, basically. So it's a team that I get very excited about, is that particular team. And obviously Saurabh is a gem. He's it almost seems with Saurabh, it almost seems like no matter what fast bowlers, what seamers show up in the USA, Saurabh is still the best one, it seems like. No matter what.
He is unbelievable. He is by far the best bowler in the country, I believe. His consistency is unmatched.
It's ridiculous.
I remember I faced him the other day in the Super 8s, and I'm just waiting for him to give me something, and he just didn't give us anything. And I told him after, I was like, sort of, when are you actually going to give us a bad ball? He's like, no, I can't do that. So he's just so consistent. He knows he's not the quickest. He knows what he can do and what he can't do. So, and he just sticks to his guns the whole time, which is really good to see. And the skill he actually has with the ball when it's swinging is it's up there in the best in the world. I think for us, especially for domestics, I think the most important thing in the major league was to to show yourself, since we've been out of the professional setup for a while, to show yourself that you are still good enough to belong on that level. And I think we the Washington guys can really say that we can play at that level, we belong there. And Sarab definitely showed that, look, I am world class. I deserve to play at this level more often, to be honest.
Yeah.
And good on him to get a good, unbelievable from him to get a gig at the ILT20 to even showcase his talents further.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was thinking he might go to BBL or something, but the ILT20, it's a pretty good option. It's pretty darn good. It's pretty fantastic league. So yeah, it's and you know, there are more and more of these leagues popping up all over the place, and I'm hoping that players like him can open the door for more American cricketers to get these chances, you know, because we know that he is a consistent player and he's going to be playing in familiar conditions when he plays in the ILT20. Yeah, he's just a real gem. We got, you know, we have so many good cricketers in the country right now that it's I can't wait to see how Major League evolves, and hopefully minor league can keep up with it, and hopefully minor league can keep developing, because it's such an important product. It's such an important part of the you know, a leg of the table, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. Without minor league, major league won't be as good as a product as they want it to be. You need minor league to be the strongest it can be for major league to be the strongest it can be, right? So
Absolutely.
yes, there was six international guys in the side, which I felt was the right number at this time. But the minor league is still very important for the five domestic guys to be at their best level, so that when they are playing the major league, they're actually ready. Because at the moment, there's no other competition to get you ready
Right.
for major league. So it's really important to know that the major league needs to, the minor league needs to be at a level where it's basically a stepping stone for people to be recognized to get into the major league.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great talking to you, Andries. I appreciate your time. I think we went longer than I promised we would, but
No worries.
but yeah, thanks for joining me, man.
No, thank you very much.